This morning I've been out helping us deliver leaflets in Huntingdon East in preparation for the elections coming up in May. Just the process of putting the leaflets through letterboxes has had me thinking about the scandal that's brewing about the letters that Reform sent out in the Gorton and Denton by-election. This is a letter purported to be written by a local resident, sent out with a handwriting font, and they've left off the imprint which identifies who it's from. It's a legal requirement that there's an imprint there, and people are jumping up and down with good reason. The sort of subtleties here, I mean, that's the leaflet we're just delivering this morning, very obviously Lib Dem. And at the bottom, if I can just turn to the right page, in rather small print, we've got a sentence here which identifies who it's from. That's important. It means that people can look at the leaflet and say who it's from. It also means that if somebody appears to have broken the law, it's clear who to report. The snag is there are times when imprints don't appear on leaflets, and it's never quite clear whether this is mistake or malice. At the mistake end, I do remember an action day in another local party where we turned up to help deliver a leaflet, looked at it, realised there wasn't an imprint, and ended up sending our volunteers away and putting the leaflets in the bin. Acute embarrassment from the person who created the leaflet, and it was a genuine mistake, but the key point is we didn't deliver them. What's going on in this by-election is a little bit more tricky. If Reform don't win, it will have been reported, the police will do their stuff, and appropriate penalties will happen. But I'm concerned about what happens if Reform actually win, because there was a tweet this morning from Alistair Campbell pointing out that one of the possibilities is that this infraction could lead to the result being overturned. That will totally play into a Reform narrative about the establishment ganging up on. So actually, if they're found to have broken the law and the result is overturned, they actually build more support. The narrative of Reform as a sort of anti-establishment party should be wearing very thin by now, given the number of ex-Tories who've been joining them. It's coming over much more as a party that's about exploiting people's sense of grievance. In the way that the person who supposedly wrote this letter, the story in The Guardian yesterday was that she'd said yes to a letter going out, but hadn't actually been involved in writing it. So her name's also being used, which all looks fairly dubious. We're in a difficult time at the moment because we've got five-party politics, we've got real divisions floating around, but it does actually need people to follow the law on elections. When that doesn't happen, we can land in very difficult territory. I'm reminded that various commentators pointed out after the EU referendum that there were enough bendings of the law by the Leave campaign to mean that if it had been a legally binding referendum, there would have been grounds to throw it out. As it was advisory, there weren't actually those legal grounds, but it was treated as a binding referendum, which kind of shows how difficult it is to take action over this sort of thing, because public opinion and legal requirements don't always coincide. But it seems really important that political parties going into elections and by-elections actually follow the law and live by the principles they plan to operate by in government, which has to include not manipulating or misrepresenting people.